Indeed, God is great. Pero sabi nga nila, God is in the details. Talagang nasa detalye. Kaya ang mga kadakilaan ay hindi lang sa malaking bagay, kundi sa maliliit na bagay na bumubuo nito. Even a great life is not a matter only of the great, but very few moments, but of daily life. Yung pang-araw-araw na mga mumunting araw na bumubuo ng isang buhay, mahalaga. Ang pag-aaral natin ngayon in appreciating God's greatness, what really matter in daily life? Ano-ano mga bagay yung talagang mahalaga at mahalagang mangyari, matupad sa ating buhay. Salamat, Ama, dahil kayo'y Diyos ng kadakilaan, dakila, malaking Diyos. Pero nandun kayo sa kamunti-munti ang mga maliliit na bagay na nilikha nyo. Ang disenyo nito, kitang-kita namin kayo ang gumawa. Kaya nais namin, Panginoon, pati mga mumunting bahagi ng aming araw, ng aming oras, maging refleksyon ng kadakilaan nyo. Pasiglahin niyo po ang aming kalooban, patalasin niyo ang aming isip, buksan niyo ang aming puso na makatanggap kami ng partikular na pagpapala sa inyo, lalong-lalo sa pagpapahalaga namin sa bawat araw na ibinibigay niyo. Turuan niyo kami, Panginoon, na bawat butil ng aming buhay magkaroon ng kahulugan. Father, be our speaker. Bless us. Honor only your name, and may you liberate us from lies, falsehood, and from lack of priority. Turuan mo kami, Panginoon, na pahalagahan bawat araw na ibinibigay mo. Sa ngalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus, dalangin namin ito, may kalakip na pasalamat. Ecclesiastes 8:15. So I think we should get as much out of life as we possibly can. Then we can make it through this troublesome life that God has given us here on earth. Here, Solomon gives us an insight, a very wise insight into life. That first of all, life could be very troublesome. Na meron talagang mga kakambal, mga suliranin, mga pagsubok, hirap ang buhay, pero meron ding kakambal na solusyon yon. At sabi ni Solomon, turuan mo kami na makatas, mapiga ang bawat sandali, ang bawat araw, para matamasa namin ang lasap at malasap namin ang ganda, ang sarap ng buhay, para maging malakas kami na harapin ang lahat ng mga hirap na nandun din sa buhay. In other words, life is a matter of balance, and because we face a lot of troubles and difficulties, it's important for us to be as happy as possible, as nice the life as possible should be had, and that we should get the most out of life. So Ecclesiastes explains that life could be short and full of trouble. So people should make the most out of life. Kung minsan ang kamatayan, bigla-biglang dumarating, bihira naman na na-expect yan. Kaya ang tatanong mo, nagawa na ba niya ang dapat gawin? Nalasap ba ang dapat lasapin? Nakain ba ang dapat kainin? Tanggap ba ang dapat tanggapin bago man lang siya nabawian ng buhay? So making the most out of life entails knowing and choosing what really matter. Ano ba talaga ang mahalaga? Unang-una, maliliit na bagay. Sabi nga natin, God is in the details. Even quality is in the details. Halimbawa, mayroong hotel, ang laki-laki, 1,000 room hotel. Ang ganda-ganda ng lobby, ang ganda-ganda ng garden. Pero pag humiga na kayo, yung unan, marumi ang punda. Ang ganda ng banyo, pero if a-flash nyo, ayaw mag-flash. Di ba sira lahat? Because everything is in the detail. So yung buhay din natin, hindi lang yung grand occasions, hindi lang yung monumental victories, kundi yung maliliit na araw-araw na nagaganap. Doon nalalaman yung kadakilaan ng Diyos, at doon natin dapat malasap yung magandang kalooban ng Diyos sa atin. So what really matter? Little things like appetite on the dining table. Kailangan pag kumakain, may gana. Bago magawa ang isang pagkain, ang tagal-tagal, maraming taong gustong kumain, hindi makakain, tas ikaw may pagkain, tas walang gana. Hindi nakakain o kinain man lang, hindi nasarapan. Ecclesiastes 5:18, what is the best thing to do in the short life that God has given us? I think we should enjoy eating, drinking, and working hard. This is what God intends for us to do. So here is a Solomonic prescription. What you should do in life: eat, drink, work. Buti na lang, nilinaw niya na dapat may work. Dapat balanced. Eating and drinking without working means poverty. But working without eating and drinking means dullness, grouchiness. Kung puro ka trabaho, wala ka namang enjoyment sa buhay, mamaya mainit na lagi ang ulo mo, hindi ka na masarap kasama, hindi ka na rin nag-e-enjoy, ba't ka pa nagtatrabaho? So develop and keep your appetite. It's high religion. And develop and keep the appetite of others. Protect the dining table from appetite spoilers. Kailangan pagkakakain na kayo, isinasa isang tabi, nililimot yung mga problema, mga kalungkutan, at lalong-lalo yung awayan. Mahirap lumulo ng pagkain pag nag-aaway kayo. Mahirap lumulo ng pagkain pag malungkot. Kaya meron tayong ministry sa isa't isa. Pasayahin, ilagay sa mood ang bawat isa on the table. And very importantly, isa pa na spoiler sa table is idolatrous diet worship. Yung may inihanda ka, I cannot eat that. Ayoko niyan. Ilang calories yan. Naku, tataba ako. Yung pinintasan na ng pinintasan yung pagkain. It's an appetite spoiler. Tapos pag tinignan mo siya, mukhang kalansay yung muka. Ito mo yung cheekbone ko. Hindi cheekbone yan, kalansay. Dahil OA na kuminsan na pagdadiet. At nagda-diet ka, nadadamay tuloy yung iba. Yung may mga gana, nakita kang kukuha ka praso. They either feel guilty or they feel bad about themselves. Kaya kung magda-diet din lang kayo, hindi kayo kakaing mabuti, huwag na lang kayong dumalo. Spoiler kayo doon sa mga gustong kumain. O dapat merong isang mesa for dieters. Ang plato nila, tansan. Ang chopstick nila, toothpick. Yan, ang mapalan nyo. Kasi nadadamay kami kumisa sa kada-diet ng iba. No? Proverbs 15:17, a simple meal with love is better than a feast where there is hatred. Yung sobrang komplikadong kainan na ang dami-daming kutsara, ang dami mga plato, ang dami mga baso na pag nagkamali, nagagalit na tuloy yung si senyora sa mga maling nagsaserve. O napagod na napagod si Macy sa paghahanda, kaya tuloy pagod na pagod siya, mainit na yung ulo nung kakain na. O nakakatatlong init na siya kasi gusto niya mainit kakainin, nahuli yung kakain na mister, awayan na tuloy. So niya, simplehan nyo na lang nga para kayo masaya kaysa masyadong complicated tapos nagkakaproblema. Hindi ko mo complicated, may problema. Pero pag complicated yung meal, usually napapagod na yung naghanda nun. Appreciate and celebrate what's on the table. And brothers and sisters, huwag pipintasan ng pagkain, lalo't kaharap. Siguro kung talagang gusto mong magkaroon ng isang scientific analysis of the quality of the food, pagkatapos na, kung sabi mong medyo yata mas masarap yung sinigang kung hindi sumobra ang alat, o mas gusto ko sana yung isda kung tostado. Pero pagkaharap mo na yung pagkain, andun na, wala ka ng choice, huwag mo siyang pipintasan. Kung hindi ka namimintas ng tao na kaharap mo, huwag mo rin gagawin sa pagkain. Kami magdamdam sa yung pagkain, hindi ka nabalikan. Sabi ni Confucius, philosopher na Chinese, coarse rice for food, water to drink, happiness may be enjoyed even in this. So niya, basta magandang attitude mo, kahit ano yung pagkain, makakagana ka. Pero dapat pinapagana mo yung sarili mo at pinapagana mo rin yung kapwa mo. Don't bring up trouble sa dining table. Hindi yan ang oras para magtalo-talo, mag-away-away, magbangayan. Importante na ipinoprotect natin yung mesa. Because eating is religion too. Lahat ng ginagawa natin can glorify God or can dishonor God. Then what else really matter? Rest and sleep. Jeremiah 31:25-26, those who feel tired and worn out will find new life and energy. And when they sleep, they will wake up refreshed. So mahalaga yung napapahinga ka talaga. Kung puro ka trabaho, kulang ka sa tulog, kulang ka sa pahinga, kulang ka sa saya, kulang ka sa masarap na pagkain, sa pangit ang ugali mo. Kasi sabi nga nila, you are what you eat. So provider ka nga pero nakasimangot ka naman lagi, hindi ka masayang kasama, pabawasan yung kabayanihan mo. Pagod ka na nga, dapat maging hero ka na pero dahil sa sobrang pagod, palaangil ka na, palaaway, people end up hating you. Kailangan na tayo marunong mag-relax. Nagtatrabaho ka pero marunong ka mag-relax. Kasi kahit patayin mo sarili mo katatrabaho, kung hindi be-bless ni Lord, wala rin mangyayari. Pero pag gusto ka i-bless ni Lord, sino makakapigil sa Kanya? Psalm 127 verse 2, it is useless to get up early and stay up late in order to earn a living. God takes care of His own even while they sleep. Hindi naman sinasabi na huwag kayong gumising ng maaga dahil kung talagang kailangan gumising kayo ng maaga dahil malilate kayo, syempre gigising kayo ng maaga. But what is the message here is, hindi mo mapipilit ang blessing ng Diyos. Hindi ko mo more trabaho, it means more food, more income, more happiness. So unahin mo is to please God. In even the conduct of your business, in the way you work and the way you do your business, dapat God-pleasing. So He will bless your effort. Hindi yung tanim ka ng tanim, tapos wala ka ng mga anihin. Mahalaga, inuuna pa rin, kahit nagtatrabaho, yung bibigyan mo ng kasiyahan ng Diyos. Dahil pag natuwa siya sa'yo, sinong makakapigil sa Kanya na i-bless ka? Pero pag hindi naman natuwa sa'yo, Diyos, hindi naman ang makakapilit sa Kanya na i-bless ka. Si Elijah recovered strength and stopped wanting to die when he was able to sleep and eat. Itong si Elijah na prophet, gusto na nga niyang mamatay, ka-prophet na tao, binubuhay pa siya ng Diyos, gusto na niyang mamatay. Yung pala, gutom lang, pagod. Nung nakatulog at pinakain ng anghel, biglang gusto na niya uli mabuhay. Kasi talagang naiiba ang utak ng tao pag sobrang pagod at undernourished. Yung mga konti-konting kumain, patikim-tikim, kapra-kapraso, observe. Obserbahan nyo kung kayo yon mga kapatid. Kung maganda ang ugali nyo at asal, yung sobrang halos ayaw na kumain, hindi ka na nag-enjoy kumain, tapos puro katrabaho, obserbahan nyo kung nakakatuwaan kayong kasama ng kapwa nyo. Kung nami-miss kayo pag wala kayo doon, at hinahagad ng mga taong makasama kayo dahil masarap kayong kasama. Usually, when you don't eat enough, yung behavior nyo suffers. Kaya marami mga dieters, mga grouchy maitin ang ulo, mga magagalitin sa buhay. Hindi nila alam, yung cells nila, gutom na gutom. O kaya kulang ng pahinga. What else really matters, especially for couples? Romance in marriage. Song of Solomon 1:12-16. My king, while you were on your couch, my love was a magic charm. My darling, you are perfume between my breasts. You are flower blossoms from the gardens of En-Gedi. He speaks, my darling, you are lovely, so very lovely, your eyes are those of a dove. Ito yung palitan ng mga berso ng nag-iibigan. And you read it from Scripture. Very few people teach it because they blush when they read the Song of Solomon. Sometimes it is called the Song of Songs or ang pinakamagandang awit sa lahat. She speaks, my love, you are handsome, truly handsome. The fresh green grass will be our wedding bed in the shade of cedar and cypress trees. So ang pinapakita dito ng Song of Songs, or the best song of all, is be passionate. You have a loved one, and your loved one loves you, and you are legally a couple. Celebrate passionate love. It's part of religion. God created our bodies. God put all the sense and all the senses where they should be because God meant them for a purpose. Song of Solomon 2:3-6. She speaks, and you, my love, are an apple tree among trees of the forest. Your shade brought me pleasure. Your fruit was sweet. You lead me to your banquet room and showered me with love. Refresh and strengthen me with raisins and apples. I'm hungry for love. Put your left hand under my head and embrace me with your right arm. Sabi ba, are we reading Scripture? Yes. If you're not reading it, something's wrong with you. It's part of the Bible. Diyan ang galing yung, He leads me into His banqueting table, His banner over me is love. Actually, this is romantic love. So kayo, lalo may mga kayong partner, appreciate and praise your partner. Nagpupurihan sila para kang isang matayog na puno, sa'yo ako lumililim, etc., etc., no? Song of Solomon 4:1-5. My darling, you are lovely, so very lovely. As you look through your veil, your eyes are those of a dove. Your hair tosses about as gracefully as goats coming down from Gilead. Your teeth are whiter than sheep freshly washed. They match perfectly, not one is missing. Your lips are crimson cords, your mouth is shapely. Behind your veil are hidden beautiful rosy cheeks. Your neck is more graceful than the Tower of David, decorated with thousands of warrior shields. Your breasts are perfect. They are twin deer feeding among the lilies. So, here is a man and a woman praising each other in the context of married bliss. So what is the Bible telling us? Especially Solomon and the song and the best song of Solomon, couples should enjoy their time. Have, protect, and beautify your private time and space. How can you be passionate kung yung mga anak nyo kasama nyo natutulog sa inyong higaan? Tapos para kayo mga kriminal lang 3 o'clock in the morning na kumakaluskos na baka magising ang mga bata. That's not the way to enjoy your married life. No? Lalo yung mga babae, hindi ko man naging nanay kayo, you stop being a wife. Minsan nagiging tamad na kayo sa ganito mga bagay, kaya yung mga anak nyo ang inyong depensa, andyan ang bata, magigising. Yung pala, tinatamad ka lang. Genesis 2:24, that's why a man will leave his father and mother. He marries a woman, and the two of them become like one person. So kung humihiwala yung mga ikakasal sa mga magulang, it doesn't have to be literally na paghiwalay, iniwan mo yung nanay mo, nag-iisang byuda sa bahay niya. Hindi yun ibig sabihin nun. Ibig sabihin lang, meron kang commitment na ang partner mo na from here on yung asawa mo. Ganon din sa anak. Nakahiwalay ka rin. Ang number 1 mong priority, asawa mo. Huwag kayong malilito kahit kailan kung sinong priority nyo, because you are one with your partner, not with your mother, not with your son or daughter. Yun ang priority. Partners shall enjoy oneness. Ecclesiastes 9:9, life is short and you love your wife, so enjoy being with her. That is what you are supposed to do as you struggle through life on this earth. Kaya napakalaking hamon sa atin yung OFW phenomenon. Hindi natin sinisisi mga kababayan natin na kailangan maghanap buhay, pero hindi dapat matagal magkahiwalay. Kasi ang payo ni Solomon, enjoy life with your wife. Or your husband, of course. Deuteronomy 24:5, if a man and a woman have been married less than 1 year, he must not be sent off to war or sent away to do forced labor. He must be allowed to stay home for a year and be happy with his wife. Can you imagine sa batas ng Old Testament, pag bagong kasal ang lalaki, 1 taong exempted sa army, sa military service, at kahit forced labor, hindi siya dapat mapagod. Isang bagay lang ang dapat niyang ikarir. To be happy with his wife. And this is a glorified situation that couples should always bring back to life. Israelite army men were exempted from service for 1 year after their wedding. 1 Corinthians 7:3-5, thousands of years later, the same thing will echo. Husbands and wives should be fair with each other about having sex. A wife belongs to her husband instead of to herself. And a husband belongs to his wife instead of to himself. So don't refuse sex to each other unless you agree not to have sex for a little while in order to spend them in time in prayer. Then Satan won't be able to tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So ano tinuturo dito? Kahit napaka-conservative na si Paul, sabi niya, may asawa ka, ang katawan mo, sa pag-aari yun ng asawa mo. At yung katawan niya, pag-aari mo rin. So dapat walang nakikiambus dyan, walang nakikisingit, nakikihiram-hiram. At meron siyang right to you. So kung hindi kayo magkakaroon ng pagtatalik, kailangan may agreement kayo. O sige, 1 week lang kasi magpe-pray tayo. At pagkatapos, wakasan nyo agad yung prayer time na yun o fasting time and go back to each other so Satan won't be able to tempt you. What do we get here? Satisfying one's partner is a spiritual duty and a physical privilege. Na kahit ayaw mo, tinatamad ka, pagod ka, kailangan meron kang sense of duty to your partner. So huwag mo sobrang pagurin ng sarili mo. Magreserba ka ng energy para sa iyong mahal sa buhay. What else really matter? Enjoy what is at hand. Enjoy what is available. Ecclesiastes 9:9, life is short and you love your wife, so enjoy being with her. Sa mga iksi-iksi ng buhay, kailangan samantalahin nyo yan. Do not waste time. Hindi yung ang tagal-tagal na hindi kayo nagmamahalan o kaya naging malamig kayo sa isa't isa, naghiwalay pa kayo matagal. Sayang ang panahon. Aalis-alis ka pa sa asawa mo, pagtanda mo rin at may sakit ka, babalik-balik ka rin. Sayang ang panahon. Huwag ka nalang umalis. Ecclesiastes 3:22, we are meant to enjoy our work and that's the best thing we can do. We can never know the future. Hindi mo naman pwede ipagmalaki yung kinabukasan pa, hindi mo alam kung ano mangyayari. So enjoy whatever is being done and happening at present. Huwag kang isip ng isip, o sige, next week, babawi ako. Paano kung hindi ka nabuhay next week? O next month, makakapagbakasyon din tayo. Next year, magkakaroon din tayong oras. No. Dapat everyday may iniaago kang panahon for enjoyment. Every week may iniaagaw kang araw. Every month may iniaagaw kang weekend. Every year may inaagaw kang at least 1 week or probably 2 weeks or a month para sa ganitong mga bagay. A little of everything every time. Work, eat, drink, play, all in one day. All in 1 week, all in a month. Because you don't know when your life will end. Especially if you're a father, a mother, a spouse, you have a duty to other people. Hindi ka nabubuhay para lang sa sarili. Ipagpalagay na ayaw mo mag-enjoy. Paano sila? Gusto sila mag-enjoy at hindi sila mag-enjoy na hindi ka kasama, may pananagutan tayo sa isa't isa. Lalabas kayo, meron kayong outing, huwag ka manimangot, huwag mo pangitan ng mood mo, huwag mo ilabas yung init ng ulo mo. Sayang ang outing. Sayang ang picnic, doon ka pa nag-alboroto. Sayang yung kainan, doon ka pa nawala ng gana, doon pa kayo nag-away. Huwag magsayang ng sandali. Kasi hindi na bumabalik. Ecclesiastes 5:19, suppose you are very rich and able to enjoy everything you own. Then go ahead and enjoy. This is God's gift to you. So anong sinasabi? Pinayaman ka ng Diyos, binigyan ka ng mga blessing, enjoy what God gives you. Do not be and stop being guilty for enjoying. Especially if your wealth is God-given, if it is deserved, you work hard for it, you never killed or stole from anybody, enjoy it. Huwag kayong makikinig sa mga religious people na lagi kang pinapag-guilty pag nag-enjoy ka. Kakain ka ng masarap. Alam mo ba, nasa halaga ng lunch mo, makakapagpakain ka na ng 500 squatter? Yung daganunin ka, kakain ka na. Marami naman akong ginagawang kabutihan. Bakit pati pagkain ko ngayon, kailangan ko pagtasahan? Bakit hindi ba ako pwedeng mabuhay para rin sa sarili ko, kasabay ng pagpapakain ko sa iba? Sabi, if God blesses you, enjoy it. Choice ng God na blessan ka eh. Kasi pag hindi mo in-enjoy yun, parang binaliwala mo yung binibigay sa'yo. Kung minsan kasi ang tinuturo ng relihiyon, sobrang guilt. Ang mahal-mahal ng damit mo, marami ka namang damitan na mahirap kung hindi yan ang isusuot mo. Nagbibigay din naman ako. Ano ngayon kung mag-enjoy ako? God wants to be gracious to me. As long as I don't steal it, I work for it, and I also never forget to be charitable. Why should I be stopped from enjoying what God gives me? Ecclesiastes 11:8. Even if you live to a ripe old age, you should try to enjoy each day. Because darkness will come and will last a long time. Nothing makes sense. That darkness, of course, is death. Sabi niya, kahit matanda ka na, mag-enjoy ka pa. Hindi yung matanda na ako. Ano ngayon kung matanda na kayo? Mag-enjoy ka pa, sabi ko noon. Huwag kang mag-alala, death will come and you will stay dead for long. You have all the time to be dead. So huwag mo i-fast forward. Huwag kang magmadali, buhay ka pa. Ang Diyos sa kanyang walang hanggang karunungan ay nagpapasyang buhay ka pa. Therefore, mabuhay ka. Nobody is too young. Enjoy every phase, every period, every moment of your life. Walang too young or too old for enjoyment. And you want to enjoy, start early and never stop. Because life is a gift from God. Life is not a problem to solve. Life is not a cross to carry. Life is not a list of don'ts. Life is a gift. Kailan pa natin lubos na uunawain na kaluguran ng Diyos, gusto ng Diyos na mag-enjoy tayo? Hindi niya minamasama. Basta't hindi nakaw, pinagtrabahuhan, deserved, and thanked for. Ipinagpapasalamat dahil alam mong kabutihan lang ng Diyos. Si Pablo, he learned to be contented with any and in any situation. Philippians 4:12, I know what it is to be poor or to have plenty, and I have lived under all kinds of conditions. I know what it means to be full or to be hungry, to have too much or too little. Sabi ni Paul, lahat yan, napagdaanan ko na. Sa palagay mo, napigil ako na mabuhay dahil ako'y mapera o kote ang pera, pagod o nakapagpahinga, gutom o busog. Lahat yan. Dumadaan talaga yan. But you must never forget to continue to worship God, to serve God, and to enjoy your life. What else really matter? Peace and contentment in aloneness. Or even in aloneness. Kung wala kang kasama ngayon, enjoy your time. Huwag kang parang hilong-talilong na naghahanap ng kasama. Kung wala gusto mong kumain, wala kang kasabay, di kumain ka, enjoyin mo. Kung binigyan ka Lord ng kasabay, isabay mo. Hindi naman laging may tao. Marami kasi sa atin mga kapatid, hindi tayo marunong mag-enjoy mag-isa. Pag nag-iisa ka na, para ka ng feeling mo, itinapon ka ng tadhana. May makikita ka pa kumakain mag-isa, bakit ka nag-iisa? Bakit naman hindi? Yung hindi ako makapag-isa, kaya alam niya maraming napapariwara dahil ayaw mag-isa. Kahit kay taning, nagpapasama, may makasama lang. Kahit masama na, kasalanan na, magsasama pa rin. Sa takot mag-isa, it is one thing we have to learn, to enjoy aloneness. As long as you are not always alone, and that you also enjoy happiness in company. Hindi naman yung sobra ka na naging individualistic. Enjoy parties, weddings, banquets, fellowships. Jesus did. Pag binasa yung New Testament, lagi siyang nasa mga handaan, kainan, wedding. In fact, the first miracle of Jesus was to make wine at a wedding ceremony. So, nakita niyo kung ano yun? Iisipin mo, ang pinakaunang himala dapat ni Jesus, nagpagaling ng libu-libong pilay? Nagbigay ng padingin sa mga bulag? Hindi. Gumawa ng alak. Para matuloy yung kasiyahan ng wedding. Hindi ito yung alak na nakakalasing. Ito yung alak na nagpapasarap ng kain, nakasabay sa hapagkainan. You might think it's not profound enough. You might think it's too trivial for the Son of God to make His first miracle this way. But that's a statement. That is precisely the statement. That Jesus is saying, the daily, mundane items of day-to-day life is not too small to merit a miracle. That life is made up not of great moments, which could only be few, but life is made up of many days put end to end. That's why those days must count. Those days must be celebrated. So the Father in the New Testament throws a party when the prodigal son returns. When your prodigal son returns, what do? Yung naglalayas mong anak, yung suwail mong anak, pag-uuwi, anong sasalubong? Sermon. Anong sasalubong? Pagalit, baka bugbog. Itong tatay na ito, matapos lustayin ng anak yung kanyang pera, naghirap, bumalik, he throws a party. Luke 15:25-26, the older son had been out in the field, but when he came near the house, he heard the music and dancing. So he called one of the servants over and asked, "What's going on here?" Sabi, nagparty po ang tatay nyo dahil umuwi yung kapatid nyo naglayas. Luke 15:28, the older brother got so angry that he would not even go into the house. Spoiler, may party, ayaw sumama. At doon niya ibunilalas lahat yung sama niya ng loob. Don't be a complainer. Don't be a spoiler just because or because you work hard. Pag tinignan niyo, yung anak na isa, mahilig gumastos, masayahin, mahilig mag-party, dalustay ang pera. Ito na isa, trabaho ng trabaho. Ang dami palang sama ng loob na binubunton, iniipon. Tapos bigla niya sinumbatan yung tatay niya. Ako lagi nagtatrabaho, hindi ako gumagastos, lagi ako nandito, hindi mo niyo ako pinagpa-party. Sabi ng tatay niya, sino may sabi sa hindi ka mag-party? Akala mo kanya kung sinong uliran na taong tipid ng tipid, trabaho ng trabaho, yung pala isusumbat mo lang sa akin yan. And hindi ba obvious mga kapatid na mas malapit yung loob ng ama doon sa isang anak na kahit alibugha, siguro masarap kasama. Siyempre hindi naman siya ibinigay dito sa Bible parang model Pero ang point lang, meron din siyang magandang ugali. Masarap siyang kasama. Itong isa, ang sipag-sipag nga, kita ng pera, pero nakakainis kasama. Nanunumbat pa. So, hindi siya pala nag-enjoy sa buhay. What else matters in life? Contentment even in times of want. Sayang ang oras, kahit oras ng taghirap. Kung ang ipagdiriwang nyo lang yung panahon na kayo mariwasa, edi ang konti nun. Kasi ang big majority of people, hindi naman talaga nagiging ganong kariwasa. So dapat wala kang sasayanging oras kahit panahon ng hirap. Ipagpiesta mo pa rin, ipagdiwang mo pa rin, kasi sayang pa rin yung oras. In fact, nahirapan ka na nga sa oras na yun, di lalo namang nasayang kung wala ka man lang napala. Philippians 4:12-13, I know what it is to be poor or to have plenty, and I have lived under all kinds of conditions. I know what it means to be full or to be hungry, to have too much or too little. Christ gives me the strength to face anything. So mga kapatid, dumarating yung panahon wala kayong pera, enjoy pa rin kayo. Marami namang enjoyment, hindi kailangan bayaran eh. Hindi kayo sure kung magkakapera kayo or not. Don't suspend your enjoyment of life. Hayaan nyo lang, darating yun kung darating, hindi darating kung hindi darating, kahit kayo mag-worry. Hindi natin sinasabing maging mapagwalang bahala tayo, pero dapat tayong matuto ng certain level of just letting it happen. Kahit naman pilitin mo, hindi mo rin mapilit eh. To be satisfied does not mean gleeful about your needs. Ang sinasabi lang dito, I have learned to be satisfied. Alam ko, kulang, hindi ko ipinagdiriwang na kulang, pero anong gagawin ko? Magrereklamo, magmumukmuk, magagalit. So niya, tinisikap ko, tinuturuan ko sa sarili ko na enjoyin kahit konti. Total, konti eh. Anong gagawin ko? Sayang ang panahon. And of course, another thing that really matters is appreciation in plenty. Pag dumating naman yung panahon na mariwasa ka, maluwag sa buhay, pasalamatan. Proverbs 15:6, the house of the righteous contains great treasure, but the income of the wicked brings them trouble. Meron daw talaga mga specially favored because of their righteousness na pinupuno ng Diyos ng mga magaganda, mamahalin, maririwasang bagay yung bahay niya. At huwag kang ma-offend. Sabi mo, ang ganda naman ng plato mo, ang mahal, makakabili ka na ng 50 Biblia dyan. Yung papagiltihin mo yung tao may magandang Biblia, may magandang plato, may ganun eh. Yung gusto mag-party, ilang Biblia na mabibili natin doon. Gusto ng Diyos, balance. Namimigay ka ng Biblia, pero nagpa-party ka rin. Importante yung ganun, hindi ka laging guilty. Dapat no guilt kung wala ka namang ginagawang mali. Proverbs 10:22, the blessings of the Lord brings wealth, and He adds no trouble to it. Paulit-ulit yung mga verses, pag talagang bine-bless ka, luluwag ka rin, magkakaroon ka rin ng ginhawa, magkakaroon ka rin ng masasarap na bagay at hindi mo dapat yon ihingi ng tawad o i-apologize for. Psalm 9, verse 12 says, teach us to number our days. Turuan mo kaming bilangin pahalagahan, bigyan ng kututuran ang bawat araw na ipinahihiram mo sa amin. Remember, life is a gift. Internalize natin, it's a gift. Therefore, it must be enjoyed. May nagbigay sa'yo ng t-shirt, gift, hindi mo sinusuot, hindi ka nabibigyan uli. Meron akong taong tinigilan bigyan ng tuwalya magaganda dahil nalaman ko nandun lang sa cabinet niya lahat. Pointless. So pag may binibigay sa yung Diyos, enjoyin mo yon. Just don't forget to share. But don't forget to enjoy it because it's an act of thanksgiving. And why else will you enjoy it? Because you are not sure if you will have the time tomorrow to enjoy it. Bigla-bigla tayong nababawian ng buhay. Dapat kahit kailan dumating yon, you will not be possessed by regrets. Because you ate, you drank, you lived, you worked, and you gave away. It's important to take care of everyday life. Because a life of 90 years is actually made up of many separate days put end to end. So the quality of your life could be seen by the quality of your everyday. Let it be a worshipful day, let it be a thankful day, and let it be a day of enjoyment. Mayaman ka man o mahirap, may iniintay ka o dumating na, kapos o sobra, it's your attitude that will make you feel rich. It's not the amount of money in your pocket. It is your attitude. Ama namin, turuan niyo po kami na patuloy na maging mapagpasalamat sa buhay na ipinahihiram niyo. Huwag namin itong itrato na akala mo penitensya, akala mo puro pagdurusa, puro paglilingkod sa kapwa na wala ng kasiyahan. Dahil nilikhahan niyo kami para bigyan kami ng kasiyahan. Salamat po, Panginoon. Ang dalangin lang namin, huwag naming malimot na may kakambal itong pananagutan sa kapwa, kakambal na responsibilidad para magtrabaho, that we should work hard and produce surplus so we can have things to enjoy and to give away to people who are not able to make so much. Turuan mo kami, Panginoon, at habang kami patuloy na nagpa-fine-tune ang buhay namin, lalo namin inaayos ito, lalo naman kami nagpapasalamat sa inyong kagandahang loob. Pagbulay-bulayan natin, mga kapatid, sumandali ang personal applications ng mga katotohanan na ito.